Meghan Markle as previously having been a, quote, yacht girl, there have been more revelations going viral from the past. And I want to show you this.
She was a yacht girl, that's right. Mentioned in the book, Meghan used to entertain as a yacht girl.
They used to call her the Duchess of Compassion. That was the brand. That was the story. Soft smiles, gentle words, the woman who broke the mold. But then Lady Colin Campbell stepped forward and flipped the script completely. Not with glitter, not with euphemisms. She gave her a new title, sharp and unforgiving, the Duchess of Deception. And when those words landed, they didn't just sting, they exploded. Because once you strip away the fairy lights and PR sparkle from Meghan Markle's so-called royal love story, what's left doesn't look like glass slippers or destiny. It looks messy. It looks deliberate. It looks like yachts drifting under golden skies, billionaire guest lists whispered instead of written, private jets instead of palace carriages, and photographs that somehow conveniently disappeared.
Now, I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it happened, but I am saying Harry knows it.
For years, Meghan sold the world a carefully curated image. Empowerment, elegance, empathy, the modern woman who made it on her own terms. But here's where the whispers get louder, not quieter. Because every time you trace those red carpet smiles backward, they don't lead to auditions or humble beginnings. They circle back to yachts, to private islands, to elite summer playgrounds where money talks quietly and discretion is currency.
In fact, I've seen the tapes. I've got them somewhere. God knows where now. I've got them on
So
some
you've seen
old...
Nudie Rudy Meghan too?
I've seen more than one, see?
And just when everyone thought her past had been polished to a perfect shine, when the palace walls felt airtight and the narrative locked in, Lady Colin calmly dropped a verbal grenade. Not so fast.
They try to hide the files, and they fail.
She didn't shout. She didn't tease. She stated it flatly. There's a hidden chapter. One that, according to her, Palace PR worked overtime to erase. A chapter that doesn't match the bedtime story the public was fed.
I've been familiar with it for a long time.
Because behind every filtered Instagram post, behind every tear-soaked interview clip that made headlines, there's another version of Meghan. One that doesn't quite align with the fairy tale. One that makes people whisper a sentence that refuses to go away. She didn't just marry into royalty. She auditioned for it.
They couldn't keep these pictures hidden because there's just too many people involved. And now they don't care about protecting Meghan Markle anymore.
And now, with what Lady Colin calls the photos they never wanted you to see, that perfectly constructed image is starting to crack. Not slowly, not gently, it's cracking fast, like a Buckingham teacup hitting marble during a family argument. Forget tiaras, forget titles. Tonight isn't about tradition, it's about scandal. And the side of the Duchess no one was supposed to examine this closely. This is the story the palace won't confirm, the media won't touch, and Lady Colin Campbell just blew wide open. They buried it. They scrubbed it. They tried to erase it. But Lady C didn't just stumble onto it. She dug. And according to her, these files were never supposed to resurface. She says she's known about them for a long time. It started as a whisper. A single line dropped casually in one of her interviews, spoken with the calm precision of a surgeon holding a scalpel. There are photos. Photos never meant to see daylight. Photos that, if real, rewrite everything people think they know about Meghan Markle before the palace gates ever opened for her. She places one moment under a harsh spotlight, 2015. Meghan Markle flown to Istanbul. Not as a star, not as royalty, as what Lady Colin bluntly called a party girl carpet filler for the opening of Soho House. And once those words were out, the internet did what it always does. Hashtags erupted, screenshots flew, blurred yacht decks bathed in sunset light surfaced from forgotten corners of the web. And every single image pointed back to the same question. Was this the same woman now lecturing the world on compassion and equality? This time, Lady Colin didn't hint. She didn't hedge. She named the context directly. Exclusive yacht parties. Billionaire summer retreats. A web of elite connections so polished it made Hollywood look like a warm-up act. And what makes this revelation sting isn't just the imagery, it's the contradiction. Then comes a name that made jaws drop. Kevin Blatt. A celebrity tape broker. He describes a call from 2018. A woman claiming to possess a 4-year-old tape. Her name? Meghan. And she was about to marry a prince. Her name is Meghan, and she's about to marry a prince in England. What? Yeah. The disbelief is audible. And yet, the allegation hangs there, heavy and uncomfortable. The Duchess who preaches compassion, allegedly moving through circles built on excess and privilege, the woman who lectures about equality, supposedly sipping champagne with the 1%, and according to Lady Colin, none of this was accidental. This wasn't luck. This wasn't coincidence. This was strategy. She claims Meghan's rise was a masterclass in social repositioning. Every guest list mattered, every introduction served a purpose, every yacht stop was a step upward, and if the whispers are true, the real scandal isn't that the photos exist. It's how aggressively people move to bury them. Because once Lady Colin said it out loud, there was no reversing it. Fairy tales only survive in silence. Every story has two sides. And Lady Colin Campbell insists Meghan's glow-up from cable TV actress to Duchess wasn't destiny, it was design. Designer ambition wrapped in couture and sealed with a champagne smile. Then she drops another image into the mix. Meghan with Prince Andrew, with Marcus Anderson, dating back to 2001, when Meghan was supposedly a third-year university student. Lady Colin doesn't mince words. She claims Meghan barely spent time at Northwestern at all. And then comes a line that hits harder than any photo. People like Meghan, she says, stay with a man only until a better option appears. Before royal carpets, Lady Colin alleges, there were yacht decks, the kind you don't casually wander onto. Guest lists handwritten, phones confiscated, billionaires trading invitations like currency. These weren't vacations, they were auditions, power auditions. Behind every sunset shot and every just networking caption was a climb. Quiet, calculated, perfectly curated. Lady Colin paints a portrait of a woman who knew exactly how the game was played. One night she's the charming Hollywood newcomer, the next she's in Dubai, Ibiza, the Hamptons, surrounded by people who could open doors faster than any casting director. Insiders claim she wasn't just attending these events, she was observing, studying, taking mental notes, learning who mattered and who didn't, practicing the role she would one day step fully into. And what's unsettling isn't that she moved in those circles. It's how completely those moments vanished afterward. Deleted posts, missing tags, friends suddenly private, a digital disappearing act that only made the whispers louder. Lady Colin points out how often Meghan was in New York. Entire months. September 2013. Andrew there, Meghan there, always there. Her words cut deeper than gossip. She didn't stumble into royalty. She charted the route. And if she really was living two lives, humanitarian by day, high roller by night, then the collision was inevitable. Because secrets don't disappear, they wait. It always starts with one photo, grainy, distant, just enough to spark a wildfire. Then the internet wakes up, screenshots multiply, old blog posts resurface, forgotten archives flicker back to life, and suddenly a story that wasn't supposed to exist starts assembling itself piece by piece. That's exactly what happened when Lady Colin mentioned the yacht photos. And when skeptics tried to wave it off, Lady Colin shut that down fast. It wasn't one trip, there were many. There were plenty of pictures. At least 2 leaked. And these weren't paparazzi shots. They were private, taken in spaces where cameras weren't allowed. Everything about them screamed exclusive. According to Lady Colin, those images didn't just vanish on their own. Copyright strikes, takedown notices, legal pressure, a cleanup operation worthy of palace-level PR. And the question isn't just what's in the photos. It's who had the power to erase them before Meghan ever wore a tiara. Lady Colin suggests it wasn't vanity, it was preservation. The image of a modern duchess couldn't survive whispers of billionaire yachts. And if some photos slipped through, what else did? Then another name surfaces. Epstein, yachts. Connections that make even hardened royal watchers uncomfortable. Every thread Lady Colin pulls leads back to influence. Not romance, not glamour, power. She says Meghan didn't wander into elite society. She navigated it with precision. Yacht events packed with moguls, producers, heirs, private gatherings off Capri, quiet meetups in Monaco, Beverly Hills dinners where discretion wasn't optional, the same faces, the same circles, the same ladder climbed step by glittering step. She's being flown all over the world, Lady Colin notes. Even cast members from Suits reportedly questioned how she could afford business-class flights constantly. According to Lady C, none of it was accidental. Each introduction was a move on a chessboard. And royalty? That was checkmate. which may explain the palace freeze later on. Because if Meghan's world already overlapped with billionaires and untouchables, the monarchy didn't welcome an outsider, they absorbed an insider. And when those elite names threatened to resurface after the vows, panic set in. Inside the palace, Lady Colin claims the mood shifted from denial to dread, advisors questioning timelines, odd trips, redacted histories. But once the engagement went public, questioning her became forbidden. She wasn't just Meghan anymore, she was the brand. And if even one photo of Meghan with Prince Andrew surfaced, Lady Colin says, it would be catastrophic. The palace chose silence, a reflex perfected over centuries. But Lady Colin cracked the veneer, and once control slips, even crowns can't contain the fallout. Then came the twist. Someone from those elite summers spoke, not a journalist, not a rival, an insider. Someone who described Meghan not as reckless, but relentless, observant, strategic, never drunk on luxury, always watching, always learning, turning every moment into leverage. They recalled a line Meghan allegedly said that chilled Lady Colin to the bone. Real success isn't about where you are, it's about who believes you belong there. When Lady Colin repeated that line, she paused, then said 5 words that went viral instantly. That explains everything about her. And then she dropped the phrase that split the internet in half, the yacht girl era. 3 words, razor sharp. Supporters cried cruelty. Critics screamed confirmation. Everyone else couldn't look away. She'd been a deal or no deal girl, Lady Colin said, calling herself a model, charging tens of thousands per trip, not from suits, from yachting. She framed it not as an insult, but as diagnosis. We were fed a fairy tale. But behind it was an audition tape, perfectly rehearsed, perfectly timed, hashtags exploded, thumbnails flooded YouTube, palace silence roared louder than denial, and while the world argued, another layer emerged. The media machine. Lady Colin suggests Meghan didn't just play the fame game, she mastered it. Strategic leaks, convenient paparazzi, charity shots timed like clockwork. The misunderstood Duchess narrative wasn't organic, it was engineered. From nobody at Hampton parties to untouchable icon. When critics pushed back, the story flipped. Opportunist became victim. Fame seeker became symbol. And that's where the curtain falls. For now. Because once illusion shatters, there's no fixing it. Especially when the internet's already seen everything. And just when you think it's over, another bomb drops. Leaked Soho House photos, live television, Piers Morgan stunned. Chaos unfolding in real time. So don't blink. Because if this shocked you, what comes next might blow the whole thing wide open.